Good evening, Fire Burns Within channel again. Time for another video, another one of these one underrated song per album videos. I've still got, well, I've done so many bands in my collection, but I've still got a lot of bands I could do. Tonight's one is Manowar, the American true heavy metal band that's been going for God knows how long. I think the first album, I'm not sure when it came out, 81 or 82. Uh, First album. And since then they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 albums. So they're not very prolific over like way more than 30 years, coming up to 40 years. They're not too prolific, to put it mildly. But I mean, the Manowar is one of those bands where sometimes I laugh at them. It's just ludicrous. And then sometimes I get it. I really get it. I mean, I don't know. The histrionics just get to me, and I don't know. I just get overcome with the total metalness of it all. It's poserish, I realise that, but it's also very heavy metal, and it's also pretty good at times musically. I mean, with good songs and always great vocals from Eric Adams. I mean, about Eric, I would say he's one of my favourite US style rock heavy metal singers. Not rock, but heavy metal US singers. He's got an amazing voice. It's slightly past its best now, I would say. I mean, he's starting to scream a fair bit too much, and it's getting a bit harsh. It's not. Maybe he can do cleans as well, really gorgeous cleans like in the old days he used to do, but I don't know. Age catches up with everyone in the end. But anyway, enough rambling. Let's give you one underrated song per Manowar album. I'm not going to do an album ranking at the end of this one because I haven't really thought about it too much. With Manowar, I'm like a very song orientated fan. The albums as a whole, I can't really say which is my favourite or not, but there's certain songs on every album which I love. Some of them are well loved as well by other Manowar fans, but I've tried to pick out some which are slightly less well loved, or are, in my opinion, deserve a little bit more praise. So anyway, let's get on with it. Battle Hymns, the very first album. The song I've picked it's a slight hit. I would say, to me, it's underrated, but it is one of the better songs on the album, and it's not an album as a whole that I really like. The song I'm gonna pick is Metal Days. I think it's a very good, catchy, heavy metal song. I mean, the riff is a good, straight ahead, rock up, pounding riff, catchy vocal from Eric. Good stuff. The other two songs I want to mention, well, Battle Hymn, the epic at the end of the album. I think they still play that live from whenever they do play that, is what they used to. So that's an epic song, so it's quite well loved. And the other song that is okay is Shell Shock. That's okay too. It's more of a rock song than a heavy metal song, I would say, that one. Okay, next album, Into Glory Ride. This is like when Manowar is really becoming Manowar now. I mean, the first album is like a mix. They don't really know what they want to be exactly. Hard rock, epic metal, somewhere between the two. But Into Glory Ride, it goes full into like epic heavy metal. The song I want to pick here is March for Revenge. That's a slow, brooding song, but it's got a very catchy vocal line from Eric in the chorus. Really cool song, actually. The other song is Revelation. Revelation is like a sort of like a slight galloping song, which Manowar does. Like they do slow marching epics, and then they'll do like a Hell for Leather speed metal type song. But I mean, Revelation is not speed metal speed, but it is sort of like faster than say March for Revenge. Into Glory Ride is like seen as one of their epic early albums. Personally, I don't love it that much. The sound is awful on it. I mean, they did a remaster and it sounds a bit better, but to me, it still doesn't sound great at all. I mean, it's some of the thinnest, weediest sounding guitars ever. But anyway, it is what it is. The next album is Hail to England, which I do like a lot overall, the album. I think it's definitely one of their best. And the remaster sounds really quite good as well. The song I want to pick on this one is probably, I don't know, I don't think a lot of people like it. It's called Army of the Immortals. It's basically a song about Manowar fans, about the fans themselves. The melody in it is what catches my ear. It's really catchy. I mean, there's lots of good songs on Hail to England, though. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fans of the other songs. Kill with Power is like a classic speed metal type song. Hail to England is like a very, very catchy song. Like that, you know, it would sound awesome live. I've actually heard that live, believe it or not. I've never seen Manowar live, but I saw Ross the Boss live a couple of years ago at the Underworld, and he played Hail to England. He was playing all Manowar songs that he wrote from his era, but the singer wasn't that good. I can't remember his name, David something. He was a bit screamy, a little bit too screamy compared to Eric Adams. He was okay though, but it was great to hear the old Manowar songs anyway. I mean, in a small venue, like not in a big venue where you can't really see the band close. But anyway, let's move on. Next album is Sign of the Hammer. Yeah, this is Manowar coming into their peak period. Like they're really doing what Manowar was meant to do in this album. This album has a lot of good songs. My favourite song is Guyana brackets Cult of the Damned. I just love that song. I love the slow build. Eric's vocals are awesome on that song. I think it's really underrated, that one. The chorus is really catchy. The sort of guitar riffs are not really they're not fast at all. They're sort of like just slow, brooding, lumbering riffage. And some, I can't remember how the solos go, but it's just mainly the vocal line that catches my ear on that. The second song to mention is a song called Mountains. That's a really epic, slow, heavy song as well. It's a song about mountains, believe it or not, about the majesty, the power of awesome big mountains. It's a good song. I mean, it's very underrated, I think, as well. But Guyana wins the award for that one. Next album is Fighting the World. This is Manowar becoming much better produced, getting a little bit slicker. The song I like here is a really catchy little song. It's called Carry On. It's a really little fast-paced, very anthemic chorus. The chorus is like very anthemic. It's made to be sung along with. It just sounds awesome to me. If I ever see Manowar live, I wish they would play that. But I mean, I don't hold hope on that. I mean, Manowar played a couple of years ago now in Brixton Academy, and the ticket price was just astronomical. I'm not paying that much for Manowar. I mean, it's just too much. So I didn't go in the end. But anyway, the second song to mention there is a well-loved song, actually. It's called Black Wind, Fire and Steel. It's a really fast-paced song, very catchy chorus line, very cool song. The title track is also awesome. It's probably my favourite song on the album, but I couldn't mention it as an underrated song in this case. But it is awesome. But Carry On is just very catchy. I love that song. Okay, next album is mid-period Manowar, right bang in the middle, Kings of Metal. This is a well-loved Manowar album. A lot of good songs on this. Hail and Kill, everyone loves. The Blood of the Kings. What else? What's that song at the beginning? Wheels of Fire is very catchy. But the song I've decided to go for here is one of my first favourite ballads from Manowar, one of the first ballads I heard, and it's Heart of Steel. I just love this song. I love the slow, melancholic build at the beginning, and then later on some thick, sort of doomy guitars come in, and it gets quite heavy and sort of moody. But the melody is always very strong. I mean, I love the melody, and I love Eric's vocal line on that song. The other song I wanted to mention was Kingdom Come. That's like a heroic song or an anthemic song. And another slow pace one. Choirs, very anthemic, that one. I love that one. Hail and Kill, I already mentioned. Everyone knows that one. Okay, the next album, The Triumph of Steel. This is an album which has got a lot of supporters. I always see this one rated very highly, but I must admit I'm not really a huge lover of it. I do like it a lot. Not a lot. I do like it, but not a huge lover of it. The song that I do love is the last song, Master of the Wind. It's another ballad. I mean, I'm not a huge ballad fan, but with Manowar, they've got a great knack for ballads. I mean, the balladeering is just awesome. You know, the moods are nice. I like the use of piano sometimes, the acoustics, and Eric's voice in ballad when he's singing ballads is really good. So Master of the Wind is what I like there. The second song is The Power of Thy Sword, which is a much faster, regular Manowar song. Very good song too. There's some other good songs on there, especially in the Achilles bit. But overall, I find the album a little bit hard going. It's not completely my favourite. Although a lot of people do love The Triumph of Steel. Okay, the next album is Louder Than Hell, and this was my first foray into Manowar territory. This is the first time I heard Manowar. Before this, I'd never heard Manowar. And I heard this album around the time that it came out, like literally maybe a couple of months after. I think it was in 1996. So I must have heard it sometime around then, or just whenever it came out, a few months after that. And this was my first introduction to Manowar. And I really liked it. I thought, wow, this is quite catchy. This is like true heavy metal. I get it. This is good stuff. A lot of people don't actually like this. They think it's too polished or something like that, or too, I don't know. It's just not, something's not right with it for their taste. But I personally think this is awesome. And the song that I'm gonna pick out, believe it or not, is yet another ballad, and it's the song Courage. I think that's just an awesome underrated ballad. I just love the feel of it. It's very empowering. It's moody. I love the piano. Eric's voice is awesome. It's just a great song. I think it's really underrated. Two other songs to mention. First one is King, which is a nice heavy pounding song. And the other is Brothers of Metal, which is a catchy true metal song. Also pounding, but a little bit faster, a little bit more mid-tempo. Same with King, actually. They're both sort of like galloping horses mid-tempo. Pretty cool. Next album is Warriors of the World. I think they didn't release an album for quite a long time. I'm not sure when I'm not sure when Warriors of the World came out. I think it came out early 2000s. So quite a good while between Warriors of the World and Louder Than Hell. And Warriors of the World was much, much better produced. I mean, this is probably the best ever Manowar production. Very heavy, crunchy guitars, thick drums. Everything was like really heavy, and there was some really fast and heavy songs on this as well. I mean, towards the end, there's some really fast songs. Hand of Doom, Fight Until We Die. Very heavy songs. But the song that I pick as being underrated is The Fight for Freedom. I think that's a really good song. It's more melodic. It's mid-tempo. The chorus is really catchy. I think that's a really cool song. The second song to take from this album is Swords in the Wind. Again, it's another ballad I've picked from Manowar. I mean, I think this is another awesome ballad. I mean, they're very good at ballads. There's hardly a ballad they've done that I don't really like. I mean, when they do these ballads, I mean, they just perk in my ear. They hit my ear, and I get taken up with the emotion of the feel of the song very, very quickly. Much more than any other metal band doing ballads. Actually, the only other band that their ballads are as good as Manowar's is Testament, and they don't do too many of them. They do like once in a blue moon they'll do a ballad, but they didn't do one on Titans of Creation, and I don't think they've done one for ages. But in the old days they did a couple of good ones: The Ballad, Return to Serenity, Trail of Tears. But anyway, digressing again. So moving on, Gods of War, the penultimate Manowar album. This was an album which the fans really didn't like. I think it was too long-winded, too many interludes, too much talking, not enough actual music. But I actually enjoyed this album. I think the production is quite good on it. When you listen to it, I mean, you've got to listen to it as a whole. I mean, you get through with the talking or the narrative parts, and then you've got the epic instrumental parts. Okay, it can sound a little bit boring, like get on with it, but I didn't mind it. I mean, I didn't mind it at all. The two songs which stood out are probably everyone's favourites anyway. Well, I'd say three songs. The title track, Gods of War, is very catchy. It's like a very slow marching pace. I find that very catchy, and I like the choirs in it as well. Very awesome. The other two songs which I really like are Sons of Odin and Sleep Near. Both of those are very good, very catchy songs. I do really enjoy them. Okay, and now we reach The Lord of Steel, the most recent Manowar album, which came out, long time ago now. I think 7-8 years ago must be. So it's been a while. Now, The Lord of Steel was a real disappointment. It's got really weird production. I mean, the bass sound on it is, I don't know what happened to Joey's bass. It sounds almost like a distorted guitar, but it's got this horrible, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's got this horrible, dirty, gritty sound that just, when you listen to it, especially with headphones, it's just really annoying. And Joey, he's at pains to tell you that this album is going to be the best sounding Manowar album yet, and it's patently not. It is obviously not. I mean, there's some okay songs on it if you dig deep enough, but it's also song-wise not good at all, really. It's okay, but it's not good enough. Manowar fans wanted more. The song I'm going to pick again, which is funny, it's the ballad on the album, Righteous Glory. It's a really good ballad, actually. I do like that song a lot. I think it's a really good song. Again, it's a typical Manowar ballad. They've got this knack for the ballad writing, you know. Slow builds, dramatic vocal, then build to a bigger melody, and so on. The second song I'm going to mention is Born in a Grave. It's sort of like a heavy, brooding song. It's a cool song. The album, like I said, as a whole, is disappointing. I mean, it's not a good way for Manowar to go out. I mean, since then, they're supposed to have retired. They've just recently announced that they're not retiring. But they're still touring. I don't know what's going on. I mean, no one's touring at the moment, but I'm not sure if they'll ever make another proper album or not, but they might do. You never know. You never know with Manowar. Joey will just announce like, we're making a 3-disc set on whatever Norse mythology again, whatever. But you never know. It doesn't. It doesn't come to light, or it might come to light. Who knows? Who knows with Manowar? It's just God knows. Anyway, that was your Manowar video roundup. Quite a long one, sorry. Metal Days, March for Revenge, Army of the Immortals, Guyana, Cut of the Damned, Carry On, Heart of Steel, Master of the Wind, Courage, The Fight for Freedom, Gods of War, and Righteous Day. Okay, stay tuned for more. I've got this list of bands that I want to do videos for. I mean, I've got to do a lot of listening to get through them, but I've got Firewind, Morbid Angel, Rhapsody. Either Rhapsody and Rhapsody of Fire, I class them as the same band. Raw Hunt, Savatage, Symphony X, Virgin Steel, Wolf, Saxon, Stratovarius, Cannibal Corpse, Rage, Dream Evil. These ones I'm planning to do videos for, going through underrated songs and possible album rankings. But I don't know if I'll get around to all of them. But anyway, this was Manowar. Stay metal.